So what's it like to be heading home on Tuesday?
I mean, it's a cool experience and all. I think we're staying back in my hometown and going to NIU for camps back in the day in high school and everything, and going to watch state championship games. It's cool to be able to go back there and watch and play again.
Awesome. So how special is this group to you offensively? How's your experience been, and how's it shaped by some of the upperclassmen?
Uh, you know, the upperclassmen we've been here. A lot of them are super seniors, 6-year guys, 7th-year guys, and it's a special group, and we've been together for so long, and we've got a good camaraderie, and we've got good chemistry, and it's exciting to be able to play one more regular season game with them.
Tough setback last week at Eastern. How's practice been this week, and what's the mentality of the group?
Yeah, it was a tough couple days, but we flushed it, put it in the past. We're moving on to NIU, try to get a good note on the end of the season and get a good bowl game. So we're forgetting that.
What are you keying on, or what do you see in NIU's defense for next week?
Just a physical group. They know how to finish games. They're good in the last couple minutes. All their games have been close games, so we just got to fight all 60 minutes and finish the game strong.
As a tight end on this offense, what is it like playing with so many weapons and such a balanced offense?
It helps a lot, especially when you get a good O-line like we do. The blocking game becomes easier in the pass game. It opens up a lot for me when I get my opportunity, so it's a good group.
Is there anything you're specifically looking forward to next week? What's it going to be like, just kind of taking in the moment?
I got a lot of family coming out. It's my last regular season game, so it'll be cool. A lot of family on my mom's side of the family coming out. So it'll be fun to have them there watching me and just going out on a good note, hopefully.
This defensive line is incredibly talented. What's it like being a part of such a talented line?
It's awesome. It's a blessing, really, to be next to Ali, Ralph, Dre, and Marshawn, and then we got guys like Kanoa coming off the bench. It's awesome for me. I'm learning from them. We're learning from each other, and we really feed off each other's energy on the field, and it's been really good so far this season, and we're just trying to put together one more good show.
Is there anyone in particular you model your game after?
Definitely Ralph. I mean, he's been kind of my mentor since I got here. He was a year older than me when I first came in, and he's just been a really good guy to show me the ropes and just really try to get that get off about the same as his.
You've been piling up tackles and sacks the last few games. Do you feel like you've progressed as the season's gone on, and what do you credit that to?
Yeah, definitely. I just think getting more snaps, more experience. I'm definitely more comfortable. I'm seeing things a lot quicker on the field. I'm reading a lot more keys, just settling in a lot more during the game. It's all really slowing down for me, and it's coming together. Plus, I mean, playing next to the guys I do, they make it easier for me to make plays.
For sure. How has the group prepared this week to be better against the run?
Yeah, I mean, we know we're going to be facing a tough run team. We're going to get a lot of truck, a lot of power. They're going to try to speed the game up and just run the ball and chew some clock. So we know that it's going to be a dogfight up front, and we got to come right.
Is there anything specific you're keying on defensively this week? Just going further in depth.
Yeah, stop the run and keeping that QB in the pocket and making him uncomfortable back there.
What are you looking forward to most with the challenge next week to close the regular season?
Right now, we're just looking to get a win, dominate on defense, dominate on offense, and special teams. Bring it all together one last time. We're fighting for a bowl game.
Yeah, obviously, disappointing week. I thought the kids played hard, and I thought defense played extremely well. We knew we were going up #1 scoring offense in our league. I think they were averaging 38 a game, and they fought and held them to 22 points, which should be enough to win. Offensively, I thought we were fairly efficient. A couple drives got killed by penalties in the first half. Started off second half 2 scores, and then we hadn't really turned the ball over. The last 2 drives, we turned the ball over. Can't do that close game. It's a 7-win team we're playing, and you can't turn it over late. So that's what happens when you play close games, and frustrating and a lot to learn from. Now we're going into Northern. They're MAC West champs, and big challenge for us. DeKalb's a tough place to play. Last time we won there was 2007. The last time the Broncos have won in DeKalb, and the time before that was my senior year. So it's a big challenge, and so today was a great day of practice, and I think they're excited for the challenge, and we know they're going to come out there. They've won 7 games in the last drive, and that's what it takes to win it, so Coach Hammock's done an unbelievable job, and hoping to be in another one. Will probably be another close one.
Yeah, we saw Corey Crooms go down there in the game against Eastern. I don't remember if he came back or not. How's he doing with that injury, and are there any other injury updates from this past week?
Really not. He's doing okay. Luckily, it was a bruise, so because it looked worse. They did all the tests and everything, and he came out clean. It's a pretty good shiner he's got there, but he was moving around today, jogging around. We didn't have him go. He did the walkthroughs. He was jogging on the side. I'm pretty sure he'll practice tomorrow. So that was dodged bullet, I guess you could say, that he's okay and he'll be ready to go. Other than that, no one got banged up. Too bad. Worse than normal, I should say.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of 2018 with facing NIU to close out the year, as they've already finished up winning the MAC West. Do you have any? Obviously, you won that year. Do you take any motivation knowing that this team's about to head to that MAC championship and trying to prove it?
Always. I think for us it's a chance to play a really good team and prove to ourselves we can be more consistent. We kept telling our guys, we talk about preaching, the details, playing with better detail and taking care of the ball. And in our first 6 games, we were +5 in turnover margin. We're -10 in the last 6. So that's the difference. We got to hold on to the ball. Our guys are still doing a lot of good things, making a lot of good plays, but the turnover margin has really snuck up and got us, and we're losing close games because of it. And so it's a big challenge. We've been trying to hammer it home for a chance. The big thing to get them to understand is every game is important. We always say the thing I hit with them this week was I asked everybody in the room who owns a car, and they all raised their hands. Who's ever been in a car? And everyone raised their hand. And we talked about the mirror, the side mirror. I'm like, what does it say? And it always says objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. And the future and what we can do as a program, it's here now. This game matters, and it matters for the next game, and it matters for next year. And I talked about my freshman year and winning the last 2 games and what that did for us moving forward. I talked about 2015, when the team had the same record. They went down to Toledo, won the game, won the Bahamas Bowl, and then had an undefeated season. So the future's right here. Sometimes they like to say, we'll get after it later. It's here right now. It's a big game, and that's the way we're approaching it.
Obviously, NIU's had a lot of success running the football with several different backs this year. How tough is it to slow down an attack that has so many different weapons?
Yeah, and bodies, really. There's going to be 5 linemen, 6 linemen, 7 linemen, 8 linemen sometimes. There's times where there's a tight end on the right, reminiscent of Vanderbilt in 2008, all linemen, 2 tight ends, 5 linemen on the right, 3 on the left, 4 on the right, 4 on the left, 1 back. A lot of gaps, a lot of big bodies, and tough physical runners. And the quarterback can run, so they do have good backs, but they also have a really good O-line and a good scheme and a quarterback that is going to keep you on one level, and you got to be a good tackling team. We had that last week, with knowing we played enough man coverage that, when a run gets through the first wave, it could be a big game. We got to run and track it down. And, they did have a couple big long runs, but we never let it turn into the long run, other than the jet sweep from the 2 that got out, but into the end zone. But so it's going to be a big challenge for our defense. I think our defense is playing well, and they're going to go up against, basically I told them going into last week, these last 2 offenses we're going to face are the top 2 scoring offenses in the league. And, they showed up for the first challenge, and it'll be another big challenge for them on Tuesday.
You mentioned their quarterback, Rocky Lombardi, a little bit. It seems like he's been getting sort of more and more comfortable in their offense as the season has gone along. What do you see watching him on film?
He's got the perfect name. I've known Rocky for a bit now, and I know his dad and from way back when, and got a great arm. He's just a great leader. That guy that you feel great, he is a kind of wears the personality of the team, just tough and gritty and never too high, never too low, very calm guy, and can make every throw and can make throws while getting hit, and being in close games, it's good to have that guy. Like I said, they've been in 7 of them that can lead the team and stay calm and keep everybody's head straight. And he's done a phenomenal job, in his first year, really. So he's going to be he's a weapon on the run game and in the pass game. So be a big challenge for our guys.
Your team is now 3-1 in one-score games this year. NIU seems to have mastered something about winning one-score games this year. What are your thoughts on the likelihood that this game comes down to the fourth quarter and the final drive?
I agree with you. I was surprised that was our first loss in a close game. You know, we need to be better with detail and turnover so we can get ourselves into more one-score games. You know, we've had some games where we're down 10 and we cut it to 3, and then they would get it to 10, and where it really wasn't every score was flipping the lead. You know, so but 3 out of 4 in one-score games is pretty good. I felt really good with the lead with the ball. You know, we are 3 for 3 on the year finishing out those games, and obviously we turned the ball over. It was frustrating, and then you watch a team like that who's, I think they've had 9. I think they're 7 of 9 in one-score games. So will not be shocked if we have to play well for 60 minutes to get into that type of game, but would not be shocked at all if it happens again.
Coach, this may be the youngest team in the Mid-American Conference, and they won the West Division.
Yeah.
They have freshmen, second-year guys throughout their lineup, and then a scattered veteran or two like Lombardi, who might have been the missing piece to the puzzle for them.
Yeah, we thought last year, especially defensively last year, they were a really solid unit, and we beat them last year, but it was a really close game, and they kept us off the field. I think we had 20 minutes of time of possession, and they had 40. And but that was a talented young football team, you know. And we were talking about it in our staff room, and kind of like talking a little bit like Akron. This is like just a talented young team, and they're getting better and better. I think some of their DBs are doing unbelievable. They've added some pieces of veterans in there where they needed them. Obviously, Rocky being one of the main ones, and they've been able to be in every game. You know, watching them play Central and Toledo and Ball State. I mean, they're all the games are very similar. You know, I think when it's all said and done, every single team in the MAC West is going to be bowl eligible or better, and so every game's a battle. You know, I don't know if that's ever happened the whole division. This might be the first time, depending on how the Ball State game goes next week. But you know, so they've done a great job, and the guys are playing. They play hard, and they got the leadership and the veterans in the right places. You know, to make themselves MAC West champs. That's not easy.
This is real similar to 3 years ago. You played them here, and you were looking for your 7th win, and you had a freshman quarterback, Caleb Ellaby, and you ended up winning that game, and you got a bowl bid to Idaho. Yeah,
that was very similar situation. And you know, we had them here, which was made it a little bit easier, but you know, it was a big game for us. We showed up knowing that there's no guarantees with 6 wins you're going to go to a bowl. 7 is I guess you're not guaranteed with 7 either, but it's pretty darn solid you are. So we know that, but it's really going to be about how we play for those 60 minutes, you know. And I've challenged the guys, and just to make sure they put their focus on the things that we need to get better at. You know, we got to play. We misfit like 2 or 3 things that could have made a big difference in the game. A couple penalties, 2 holding calls really hurt us. And then obviously the turnovers is the elephant in the room, and that's what we need to. We did such a good job the first 6 games on. We've made some adjustments and changes to try to just get their focus where it needs to be, because I think if we don't turn it over, I think we're going to be able to have a lot more than 4 one-score games. We'd probably be in a ton of them.
How do you go about coaching that? Caleb's had the issue with the fumbles, and you know, you're the quarterback. You got it in one hand a lot of the time, but
yeah, it depends on how you're dropping it. You know, if you're dropping it in the pocket, sometimes you have no choice. I mean, if you're in the pocket and you don't see the guy coming, that's very difficult. When you transition to becoming a runner is a totally different thing. And having him, you know, kind of go through the running back ball security drills. We do a lot of different ball security. The O-line does different ball security. The wideouts and the running backs kind of do the same. And you know, trying to get Caleb, it takes time because it's training and it all happens fast. So we've been trying to we've been sending him over with the running backs because that's when it's come out. It's those are the ones that can be prevented. Let's put it that way. So he's been working with the running backs in ball security, and that's just to make sure his natural reaction in his gut is to make sure his wrist is above his elbow and he knows how to squeeze it. And same thing our running backs and wideouts do. We've kind of gotten rid of our quarterback ball security stuff that we did, which was more pocket security stuff, and turn them into, hey, let's send you over here, because we do it every day. I mean, we went 6 games without one. I think our wideouts and receivers have done a phenomenal job. You know, we just got snuck up and bit us, you know, at the wrong time. And he really, on that play, he really did a good job of bailing us out of a play that didn't work. You know, the look wasn't there. His answer to bail us out of a bad situation was to take off and run. You know, go get us 3 or 4 yards. We'll be in 2nd and 6, and we'll be in good shape. And everything he had done up to that point on that play was really good, and then it turned into a catastrophic event, and so we've been working on it. He knows that. He's owned it, and that's the biggest piece of getting better is having your players own and coaches own the things you're not getting done.
Coach Sky Morris had a tremendous season. He's over 1,000 yards now. You really it looked like you were making an effort to get him the football last week, and hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah, it's I forget what game it was, like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. It was the first time that somebody changed their defense for him, which then changes your offense because now, one, you still got to get him touches, and two, there's some other things. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. So there's other things that should get better in your offense, and so, we definitely, the first time they did it, which I think was Toledo, we didn't have a ton of answers the rest of that game, but we've been putting more and more in since then, and he's always going to work. That Sky Moore shows up and works harder than anybody, and doesn't say anything and just has fun with it, and he's so focused on himself and getting better that he doesn't get emotionally too high, too low. He's an unbelievable guy to coach, and all the great ones are like, being around, coaching when Greg Jennings was around, and like that's what they're like, So he's so much fun to be around, and wherever we put him, he's going to learn what he's supposed to do, and then you get him in a good situation, he's going to make a play, So he did some great things, and we got to continue to get him the ball, and that's going to give opportunities for Crooms and Jalen Hall too, and some of the running game to continue to get improved because they're going to get better looks too.
And you've been over to Northern Illinois before, late in the season. It's not going to be very nice night, I'm guessing. It's going to be windy. It's going to be blowing sideways. Probably some snow. Temperatures in the 30s. How do you get over that mentally?
Well, we just talk about it. We had to go yesterday. Well, yesterday's practice was practice walkthrough was very similar. It was like 20 some mile an hour winds and in the 30s, and it was a good day for us to go out there just to be like, hey, this is it. This is where we're going to play. And I've been into DeKalb. We practiced there for the state championship in high school, and then I played there. Obviously, I've coached there a ton, and it's always windy there. It might rain. It's definitely going to be cold, and both teams are going to play in the same weather. So we got to just do a good job of going out there and seeing what we can and can't do in warm-ups and make sure that we're giving our guys the best chance to succeed no matter what the weather is.
Your defense has been excellent getting to the quarterback, lead the conference in sacks. Only 3 forced turnovers in conference play. Have you talked about that with your group?
We have a ton, and it's frustrating because they've been playing great, but we need to get the ball back. We are actually every game we've gotten a turnover in, we've won, and so it goes both ways, offensively and defense. If we force a turnover, we win, and if we don't turn the ball over, we win. And so it's one of those things that it's harder in man coverage. In man coverage, you get more sacks in man coverage. You can get more sack fumbles in man coverage, but a lot of times in man coverage, your backs are to the ball, so you don't get as many interceptions. Zone coverage teams get more picks, but they can't get after quarterbacks the same. So we obviously been playing a lot more man than we have in the past, so the picks are going to be harder to come by. They got to come into the sack fumble fashion normally, or just hitting a running back and him fumbling the ball. But it's we get in spurts. When we get them, it seems like we get 2 or 3 in a row, and our guys are playing hard. They're flying to the ball. They're hitting people. We just got to put our helmet on the ball and get it out, because Coach Espo preaches turnovers. They do a turnover circuit every week, and we got the turnover belt, and it's been on the sideline way too long in the bin. We got to get it out, and it would help the momentum of the team, and so we're preaching it, and that's something that's on both sides of the ball. That's what we preach, and we got to. And it's not like they're playing bad. We just haven't gotten any, and we need to get some. I think the ball was on the ground once in the game. We didn't get on it, but we got to get that ball back.